What is Gematria? Gematria is a Hebrew term. It is said to be derived from the Greek word gematria, meaning geometry. Although some scholars believe it to derive from the Greek word grammateia, meaning knowledge of writing. Gematria is the practice of assigning numerical value to a name, word, or phrase according to an alphanumerical cipher. The definition of a cipher is a secret or disguised way of writing, i.e., a code. It is to put a secret message into writing. This practice is used in Jewish mysticism, also known as Kabbalah. When looking at the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph equals 1, Bet equals 2, up to Yod, which equals 10, and then multiples start by 10, going up to Zadi, which equals 90, and then multiples start going up by 100. Gematria is used to gain insight into sacred writings or to obtain new interpretation of texts. This is done by connecting the same numerical value of the observed numbers to different words or phrases. For example, when using Hebrew Gematria, encoding decoded has the same numerical value as Gematria. How this works is when looking at the word Gematria in a Hebrew calculator, G equals 7, E 5, M 30, A 1, T 100, R 80, I 9, and A 1. If you add all of those numbers up, it equals 233. The Greeks also used a similar technique called isosophy, with alpha being 1 all the way up to Lota 10, and then it goes up by 10 all the way up to Rho, which equals 100, and then multiples start going up by 100. Over time and with the help of technology, many different ciphers have been developed and adopted. Using the site gematrinator.com, you can have access to over 30 different ciphers. Another valuable resource I've used in the past is gematriaeffect.news. This website has its own calculator, and right now we're looking at the simple English ordinal calculator with the word gematria typed into it. Going back to gematrinator.com, while still using the simple ordinal cipher, you can clearly see that Messiah, Preacher, Lucifer, Muhammad, and Jesus all equal a total of 74. Another example of how Gematria is used is by using a different cipher, such as this one that I have here. It is called the Pythagorean cipher, or the simple reduction cipher. So instead of J equaling 10, it starts over at 1, and you can clearly see that moon, lunar, oceans, tides, and sleep all have the same sum of 21. And now some people may say this is just a coincidence, but what is not a coincidence is how these words or phrases connect to one another. For example, you sleep at night and the moon is usually out at night. The moon is said to affect the tides of the oceans. So it's kind of almost impossible for some of these connections to be just a coincidence. With that being said, some people believe that there is two sides to the Gematria codes, with one being evidence of an intelligent creator and the other being used for ritualistic practices by celebrities and mainstream media alike. I wanted to give you guys an example of the organic side of the code, so I went to the ordinal cipher and I typed in my YouTube name, JSoul Explores, and you can see that it equals 196, which has the same value as Ponder Your Path, meaning of your name, Do you believe in magic, and yes, I'm a real person. That being said, if you use the rules of numerology, which states that any repeating number, for example 11, you don't reduce, but if it's numbers that aren't repeating, like 196, you would reduce it to the smallest number. So 1 plus 9 plus 6 equals 16, and because 16 is not a repeating number, you add 1 plus 6, which equals 7, and that is my life path number. But I will get into life path numbers, numerology, the rules of numerology in a later video. Going back to Gematria, in mainstream, the band Slipknot released an album called All Hope Is Gone. The album was released in 2008, and on it they have a song called Gematria, the killing name. Two years after the release of that album, one of the co-founders and bassist, Paul Gray, known as Number 2 or the Pig, died at the age of 38. Now you might think him dying 2 years after that album was released, or that on his Wikipedia page his picture is him performing in 2008, but I'll show you some other weird coincidences. While using the reverse cipher that I've showed you earlier in this video, you can see that Paul Gray, the Pig, reverse, killing, and Gematria all have a sum of 38. It is reported that Paul Gray died of an overdose due to morphine and fentanyl consumption. He was found in room 431, and the number 431 is the 83rd prime number. He also wasn't the only member to have passed away. The band's drummer, Joey Jordison, passed away in 2021, and he was the band's drummer. Now, using the same cipher, the reduction cipher, you can see that drummer equals 38 as well. Joey passed away at the age of 46, and you can clearly see that 46 is equal to sacrifice in the same cipher. Earlier in the video, I was talking about 21's connection to the moon and sleep, and it just so happens that Joey Jordison passed away in his sleep on a Monday, and Monday is named after the moon. And you can see here in the reduction cipher that Iowa equals 21, his hometown and where he passed away. Math and numbers are said to be a universal language, so instances like this make me question if we live in a matrix designed by an almighty creator, and these occult groups are using this code to perform rituals. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still working on my production skills, and I'll be doing more videos on Gematria and different topics in the future.